Hey, let's welcome in Orioles co-hitting coach Ryan Fuller. Was with the Bowie Bay Sox last year. Has been in the organization a couple years. And Ryan, this is a fast rise to the major league level for you. And of course, you're joined by Matt Borg-Schulte, who comes from the Twins organization as co-hitting coaches. It's been a pretty exciting few weeks in your life, I take it.
It's been very exciting. It's been great to spend time with Matt Borg-Schulte. We call him Borgs, getting to know each other, the different processes and systems that he's bringing over from the Twins and meshing it with what we've done in the minor leagues with the Orioles. So we're really looking forward to seeing how the two of us work together. It's been a really great experience so far, but obviously for my family too, it's been really exciting time and looking forward to being in Baltimore this season.
So tell me how this will work. And throughout Major League Baseball, we see now more co-hitting coaches, kind of on a par sort of thing. And so I think fans get confused by that, thinking there needs to be like one decision maker. And, but here there's two guys who are going to try to exist as equals. How will that relationship work?
I think it's already shown itself to be exactly what we hoped for when we went through the interview process, looking for that person that doesn't care who gets credit. We just want to do things the right way. So all the decisions, hey, let's sit down, let's talk about it, go through the pros and cons and collectively make a decision. But this happens at the minor league level too. Even though there's one hitting coach, you have these conversations and decisions with the manager, with the developmental coaches. So we pride collaboration, and I think it's just the perfect marriage between the two coaches working together. No one guy is going to make the final decision. Two minds are usually better than one. So it's been really good so far, and we're usually pretty lockstep with what we think is going to work, what we should do. So kind of like the what, why, and how of going about each problem. We've been on the same page with most things.
The position of coach in baseball is clearly evolving each year. More data, more analytics, more knowledge, more scouting, more everything. And you're trying to process that, get it to the players, take something that helps them, and move forward. Tell me about coach right now in professional baseball, and how what are the most important things, do you think, for any coach?
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it. When people ask, man, what's your coaching style? It's kind of like, what do you want to talk about? Practice design, skill acquisition principles, advanced meetings. There's so much that goes into it, but I think the Orioles have done a fantastic job of giving the coaches any resource you could possibly want or need. And then it's really up to the coach to have feel to say, player A, we could give him a little bit more. He's really in tune with this. Player B, we really got to simplify it for him when he goes up to the plate. One thing's on his mind only. So we have all this richness of resources, but it's really up to the coach to simplify it, condense it in a version for each hitter. And that could be different for each guy, but they go up to the plate knowing this is my plan of attack. This is how I'm going to beat the pitcher tonight. But there's a ton that goes into it, and we're lucky to have very, very smart people in the organization that makes it really easy.
So I think you're still 31, correct? You haven't had another birthday since this news came out.
Still 31. I'll be 32 in May.
In May. So that's youthful, obviously, and that must lend itself to you positively in many ways, and also present challenges in some. Does it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's pros and cons to every situation. Luckily, I think I relate really well to the players, some of them being my age, right around there. And then when I do have a lack of experience, I'm so excited to work with Brandon Hyde, Tim Cousins, Freddie Gonzalez, Jose Hernandez, these guys who have this experience where I could say, hey, haven't been in this situation before. Can you kind of guide me through it? Here's what I'm thinking, and get their experience too. So although I'm young, I think I do a good job of connecting with the players, having them trained and ready to go for each game. But then the lack of experience, I think I'll be able to get picked up by the other resources and people on the staff.
As you well know, I had a chance to be in Bowie many times this last season. It was great. I love going to Bowie. And what I found on the offensive side is players who were clearly buying into what you were coaching and teaching, and then making it work and turning it into results. That's the most important part. And we're enthusiastic about it. I've been doing this job long enough to know when a player is giving me an answer that he probably thinks he should give me. And when he's giving me an answer and it's like, wow, this kid really believes in the hitting process here. And I found that to be true often. And it was impressive to me that there's such a good connection. How did that come to be?
That's great to hear, Steve. That's what we hope. This is a player-driven department and organization. There's nothing hidden from the players. So if they ask, hey, why do we do this? We better have a great answer for them. And usually they don't even have to ask that question because we spend so much time educating these players on, okay, here's why we do this. Here's a movement plot. We want to explain it. So these guys trust us. That's a huge part of it going forward. And the guys just really know that, hey, we're going to prepare you to the best of our ability, and you're going to be prepared for anything you're going to see in the game. And that comes from training. And the guys in Bowie, especially with Buck, the whole staff there, it was just a really consistent message of control the zone, positive swing decisions. If we do that, it's going to lead to hard contact, and hard contact usually leads to damage. So it was just a consistent message and training environment on a daily basis. And these guys saw, man, if I really lean into this, the challenging practice environment, the different types of BP, I'm ready to go. And it was the guys coming up from high A really jumped in quickly. And then what was most proud to see was the guys from double A going to triple A, jumping right in with Tim Gibbons and having continued success up there. And I think that's just a really nice accolade for the hitting staff to have a consistent message and how we go about our business each and every day.
What did it mean to confidence that you have as a coach and the players have in you that the results came? It's one thing for a kid to stick with a process if he's not getting results, thinking there will be an end game here that'll be better for me. It's another thing to look at Bowie and see they tied for the league lead in runs scored, and they were high up in a 12-team league in many other categories, including important ones like power and walk rate and so many things you'd like to see good on offense. That must have been so good for both you and the players.
Yeah, we're both on the same page with what we're trying to accomplish. And as cliche as it sounds, the process is what we focus on. The results take care of themselves. Our goal was to have the best training and learning environment in all of minor league baseball. And I think we did a really good job of doing that. But really, to answer your question, Adley Rutschman, the leaders on that team, it was player driven. If a new guy came up, it was, hey, here's how we do things here. Here's why we do it. Jump right in. And then as Adley left, we had other guys like Kyle Stowers, Andrew Dashbach, other players come up and lead the charge and continue doing what we did from day one when we started the year in Altoona. So it was just coaches, players on the same page. And then we gave a lot of freedom to the players to say, this is who we are, this is what we do, and we're going to do it every single day.
So Ryan, how can things you did in Bowie last year that had so much success now translate to Baltimore in 2022?
Yeah, it's obviously a huge step going from AA Northeastern League to the AL East, but I look forward to having the same goals, best training and learning environment in all of baseball, preparing our players for everything they're going to see off the starter that night, key relievers. So really just uber prepared and having these guys really lean into, hey, why do we do this? What's the education process? Being their best coach, again, as cliche as it sounds, but the same process that had success at the minor leagues. I don't think focusing on positive swing decisions, hard contact, and damage is ever going to go out of style because one builds on the previous one. So very similar system, but I look forward to knowing these players inside and out, what makes them tick, developing that trust that we did with the minor league players with the guys on the major league side now.
As you thought ahead, surely to what it's going to be like as April turns into May, June, and so forth, and this really kicks in. What do you look at and say this is going to work too in Baltimore as it do in Bowie? And what do you look at and say this works well on a minor league level, but maybe in the majors, I have to tweak some things?
Experience will allow me to answer that question a little bit better as we go through, but I feel very confident in our ability to improve swing decisions. That's something we had a lot of success with in 2020 at the alternate site with these major league players. So they are pretty familiar with how we train, and most of those guys made big strides at the alternate site and carried it out through the remainder of the 2020 season. So I feel confident in our ability to improve swing decisions across the board and control the zone a little bit better. And if we do that, like I said previously, that's going to lead to some really loud contact and knock the ball around a lot of AL East stadiums, which we're looking forward to.
And finally, what has your one-on-one with Matt been like? What's been the getting to know you process for both of you that will serve you both well come the season?
It's been fantastic. When Matt was closing in on getting an offer, I flew down to Florida to spend a weekend with him. We got to spend time with Brandon Hyde. Matt and I played golf. We got to spend time with the other members of the hitting staff in the org. And since then, we have morning Zoom calls every morning around 9 o'clock. We go over a player, an opposing pitcher, how we want to structure spring training. So it's been a consistent contact between the two of us, and we just love picking each other's brains and learning, man, you know, I never looked for that before. That's something I picked up here, and, you know, melding our experiences together, his experience with the Twins, obviously myself with the Orioles, it's been really exciting. And then to share that with the whole hitting department as well. We've had multiple Zoom calls as a collective hitting staff. So we're really excited to have a really unified, tight-knit hitting department from the Dominican Republic all the way up to Baltimore.
Ryan, it's been great to get to know you this year at Bowie. We talked before, but really got to know each other a little better with our interviews, and appreciate you taking the time today, and can't wait for April and beyond to see how it goes. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Steve.